Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everyone who is in the building early. It's good to see each and every one of you. If you guys can hear me okay, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, give me a thumbs down or an angry face. And I'm going to shout out everybody who's in the building early. All right. We got who we got in the house. We got Brooklyn Queen in the building. Shout out to you, Brooklyn Queen. We got Lloyd Sky 9 up in here. We got Jerry Bedford. We got Vovo 2 Love. We got Miss Nisi. We got Hurricane IQ. We got DC Precise. Shout out to my man AB Promotion with the Ducats. My man AB Promotion said, I just heard year-end wrap-up by Uncle Murder. Yo, he killed it. Did you hear all three parts? Did you hear all three parts? Uncle Murder, man. Uncle Murder be going in, bro. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Murder be going in. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shamika Gray. What's good with it? And I think that's it. I think we got everybody. All right. So good to see y'all. So let me ask you guys a question. I didn't mean to schedule that premiere at the time that I scheduled it at, but it is what it is. I scheduled it. How many of y'all hit that box at the end? Did y'all see the box when it popped up at the end? The reason why I'm harping on that so much and trying to get you guys to develop a habit of doing that is because what happens at the end of the video is very crucial to how YouTube distributes your content through the algorithm. All right. People complain about shadow banning and different things like that. It's not so much shadow banning. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that it is that people don't try to train their audiences to utilize the YouTube distribution tools. All right. Those are the YouTube distribution tools. All right. So what you all do at the end of the video is dependent, or what you all do at the end of the video dictates how YouTube distributes the content. All right. So the more of you all that hit that box at the end of the video, the more YouTube will distribute the content. And as you guys can see, it's been working. Probably by the end of the day, BLR1 will probably be at 5,000 subs. You know what I'm saying? So anytime you guys watch a live stream, anytime you guys watch a short form video, at the end of the video, either do one of two things. Either hit that box that's in the bottom left-hand corner, or if it says up next and it's another one of my videos, hit play next. All right. If you guys are able to do that, if you guys are going to be doing that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys aren't, give me a thumbs down. And to the moderators, right? What I need the moderators to do is as soon as you guys see that box pop up in the chat, tell everybody to hit that box. That's what I need you guys to do. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about why the Middle East is lit, because it is. But before we talk about that, we're going to talk about your boy Tucker Carlson. Your boy Tucker Carlson been spotted in Russia. Shout out to Jacoby. What's good with it, Jacoby? What's good with it, Brooklyn Queen? What your boy Tucker Carlson doing in Russia? Apparently, there's a possibility that Tucker Carlson might have done an interview with Vladimir Putin, which would be pretty interesting. Be some content that I'd be interested in seeing. I don't know if you guys saw it. There was this interview, Vladimir Putin interview. I think it was NBC that did it. Man, that interview, I want to say it's like an hour and a half long. That is classic. That is classic content. Classic content. You know what I'm saying? It's an old interview. I want to say it's from either 2 or 3 years ago. But I'm going to tell y'all this. If Tucker Carlson did interview Vladimir Putin, we definitely finna react to it. And y'all might want to see that old interview with Vladimir Putin. Now, I got the feeling that if Tucker Carlson does an interview with Vladimir Putin, it's not going to be as antagonistic or contentious as the one that NBC did. But that one that NBC did was Vladimir Putin. Man, listen, y'all got to see that interview, man. It was hilarious. I want to react to it, but I'm going to save it. We're going to save it. We're going to wait. I'm going to wait till I got time one day, and we're going to sit down and we're going to react to it. We're going to have a good laugh because that was hilarious. You know what I'm saying? That was hilarious. All right. So let's see what they're talking about over here on this article here on Reuters. Tucker Carlson says with a smile, we'll see, in regards to interview with Putin. All right. So now here says former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, whose arrival in Moscow has fueled speculation that he may become the first Western journalist to interview Russian President Vladimir Putin during the war in Ukraine, kept his cards close to his chest on Monday. Russian media showed pictures of Carlson at several spots around Moscow, including at a box at the Bolshoi Theater and eating at a hotel. It's beautiful, Carlson said of Moscow in an interview aired by the Izvesta newspaper. I just wanted to see it because, you know, I have read so much about it, but I've never seen it before. When asked if he was in Moscow to interview Putin, Carlson said, we'll see. And then he smiled. So we're going to take a poll on this. How many of y'all think that Tucker Carlson interviewed Vladimir Putin? If y'all think that he did, give me a thumbs up. If y'all think that he didn't, give me a thumbs down. I'll tell you what, if he did, man, that's about to be lit for some reaction content. If he did, that's about to be lit for some reaction content. You know what I'm saying? The Kremlin asked the same question, said it could hardly be expected to comment on the comings and goings of foreign journalists or provide a running commentary on them. Many foreign journalists come to Russia every day. Many continue to work here, and we welcome this. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said, we have nothing to announce in terms of the president's interviews to foreign media. Carlson launched a new subscription-based streaming video service in December to capitalize his popularity among conservative U.S. voters. An interview he posted on X with former President Trump last August has drawn more than 267 million views, according to the social media platform. All right. So there's that. So I'll be interested to see what goes on with that. And I'm telling you guys, that's something that y'all can assure is going to happen. If he did interview Putin, we definitely reacting to the entire interview. All right. So next we're going to talk about what's been going on in the Middle East. All right. But we're going to go back a little bit. All right. Because I didn't get a chance to talk about some of the things that happened in between. Shout out to Two Factor. What's good with it, bro? So you guys know that there's been a series of attacks on commercial ships, right? And it's been the Houthis that they're saying are behind them. Then there was the situation where there was a drone strike and the 3 Black Army soldiers were deleted. All right. Everybody's familiar with that, right? So now, in regards to that, this is what Biden is talking about. Joe Biden is saying that the U.S. shall respond after the drone strike by Iran-backed groups deletes 3 U.S. troops in Jordan. So if you guys don't know about this situation, I'd advise you guys to go and check out the stream that I did on it on BLR1. That stream is on members only because they yellow dollar signed it. Okay. And shout out to my man Two Factor for being a like enforcer. Make sure you guys show Two Factor some love. Throw them like enforcers in the chat. 27 people, only 14 likes. If everybody can take a moment, smash that like button and get us to 30, that would be great. All right. President Joe Biden said Sunday that the U.S. shall respond after 3 American troops were deleted and dozens more were injured in an overnight drone strike in northeast Jordan near the Syrian border. Biden blamed Iran-backed militias for the first U.S. fatalities after months of strikes by such groups against American forces across the Middle East since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. Now, let me ask you guys a question. What do you all think it would take to get the United States to not be a part of these wars? Oh, yeah. Take your time. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. Hurricane IQ said he got so much replay ganging to do, but I know it'll be worth it. I'm telling you, facts. The streams will be good. The clips will be good. I'm uploading some more clips today. I'm uploading some clips onto this channel. We got good stuff. I'm gonna upload a couple more clips before I do my second stream, because I'm gonna do another stream. You know what I'm saying? I think we might do a stream on the undocumented channel. You know what I'm saying? DC Precise says it's gonna take hell freezing over for the United States to not be involved in these wars. If you guys agree with DC, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. I think DC might be on to something. I think DC might be on to something. You know what I'm saying? Biden, who was traveling in South Carolina, asked for a moment of silence during an appearance at a Baptist church banquet hall. We had a tough day last night in the Middle East. We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases, he said. After the moment of silence, Biden added, and we shall respond. With an increasing risk of military escalation in the region, U.S. officials were working to conclusively identify the precise group responsible for the attack, but they have assessed that one of several Iranian-backed groups is behind it. Biden said in a written statement that the United States will hold all of those responsible to account at a time and in a manner of choosing. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said, we will take all necessary actions to defend the United States, our troops, and our interests. Now, we know that that's not true, because here's the question. What are they doing to defend the border? Let me ask you guys this. Does defending the border count as defending the United States? If it does, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't, give me a thumbs down. So now they say that they're willing to do everything, but they're not defending the border. So somebody make sense of that. You know what I'm saying? Iran-backed fighters in East Syria began evacuating their post, fearing U.S. airstrikes. According to Omar Abu Layla, a Europe-based activist who heads the Deir Ezzor 24 media outlet, he told the Associated Press that the areas are strongholds of the Mayadeen and Bokamau. U.S. Central Command said at least 34 troops were injured by the one-way attack drone, with 8 flown out of Jordan for follow-up care. It described the 8 as being in stable condition. The large drone struck a logistics support base in Jordan known as Tower 22. All right, so those were as you guys know, those were the 3 black soldiers who ended up passing as a result of this attack in Tower 22. And shout out to Torian Rain, who did the live stream where he went in on Jack Placibic and our good friend Maria with the annoying voice, who said that this occurred because these soldiers weren't qualified and they were DEI military hires. I'm going to tell you guys something. If all these other groups of people are going to continue to sit up here and say that every time black people get a job, we're a DEI hire, let's stop working for and with them. If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. You think we're a diversity hire every time somebody is working somewhere? How about we just don't work there? Shout out to Cameron. What's good with it? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. It is along the Syrian border and used largely by troops involved in the advice and assist mission for Jordanian forces. Central Command said approximately 350 U.S. Army and Air Force personnel were deployed to the base. The 3 who were killed and most of the wounded were Army soldiers, according to several U.S. officials who spoke on condition of anonymity to give details not yet made public. The small installation, which Jordan does not publicly disclose, includes U.S. engineering, aviation, logistics, and security troops. Austin said the troops were deployed there to work for the lasting defeat of ISIS. 3 officials said the drone struck near the troops' sleeping quarters, which they said explained the high casualty count. The U.S. military base at Al-Tanf in Syria is just 20 kilometers, which is 12 miles, north of Tower 22. The Jordanian installation provides critical logistics hubs for U.S. forces in Syria, including those at Al-Tanf, which is near where the borders of Iraq, Syria, and Jordan intersect. Okay. In a statement on the Jordan state-run Petra news agency, the country condemned the terrorist attack that targeted the U.S. troops. That report described the drone strike as targeting an outpost on the border with Syria, and it said it did not wound any Jordanian troops. Jordan will continue to counterterrorism and the smuggling of drugs and weapons across the Syrian border into Jordan, and will confront with firmness and determination anyone who attempts to attack the security of the kingdom. The statement attributed to Mohanad Mubaidin, a government spokesperson, said, U.S. troops long have used Jordan, a kingdom bordering Iraq, Israel, and the Palestinian territory of the West Bank, Saudi Arabia, and Syria as a basing point. Some 3,000 American troops typically are stationed across Jordan. Since the war in Gaza began on October 7th, Iranian-backed militias have struck American military installations in Iraq more than 60 times and in Syria more than 90 times with a mix of drones, rockets, mortars, and ballistic missiles. The attack Sunday was the first targeting American troops in Jordan during the Israel-Hamas war and the first to result in the loss of American lives. Scores of U.S. personnel have been wounded, including some with traumatic brain injuries during the attacks. So that's pretty serious. So now let me ask you guys this question. Why do you all think that they're targeting these U.S. military installations? What do you guys think? What's the strategy behind that? And here's my question. Why don't the United States investigate the engineering of those weapons and see where those people got the weapons from? How many of y'all think that if they investigate and check out those weapons, they might see that those weapons were American manufactured weapons? If you think that that might happen, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that that might happen, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to John Guillory. What's good with it? Yeah, I agree. The Israel war. Facts. The militias have said that their strikes are in retaliation for Washington's support for Israel in the war in Gaza, and they aim to push U.S. forces out of the region. On Monday, Iran's foreign ministry dismissed the U.S. accusation that Tehran was behind the drone strike. According to the official IRNA news agency, it quoted ministry spokesperson Nasir Kanani as saying that the Islamic Republic of Iran has no role in decisions by resistance groups on how they support the Palestinian nation or defend their people. Iran, Kanani said, is closely watching developments in the region and stressed that the responsibility for the consequences of provocative accusations against Iran will be on those who raise baseless allegations. U.S. in recent months has struck targets in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen to respond to attacks on American forces in the region and to deter Iran-backed Houthi rebels from continuing to threaten commercial shipping in the Red Sea. I am confident the Biden administration will respond in a deliberate and proportional manner, said Senator Jack Reed, who heads the Senate Armed Services Committee. Republicans in Congress said the administration's approach has failed to deter America's adversaries in the region. We need a major reset of our Middle East policy to protect our national security interests, said Republican Michael McCall of Texas, chairman of the House of Foreign Affairs Committee. Senator Lindsey Graham went further, urging the administration to strike targets of significance inside Iran, not only as reprisal for the deletion of our forces, but as deterrence against future aggression. The only thing the Iranian regime understands is force. That's interesting. What do you guys think about that statement? What do you guys think about that statement? I think that Lindsey Graham should watch the kind of advice that he gives to people. If you ask me, I'm gonna just leave that there. What do you guys think about that? I think that Lindsey Graham and people like Lindsey Graham should watch the kind of advice that they give to people, because one day, some people who realize that the only thing that other people understand is force might just take him up on it. So, like I always say, you got to be careful what you wish for. I'll just leave that there. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Biden, who was in Columbia, South Carolina on Sunday, was briefed in the morning by Austin National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and Principal Deputy National Security Advisor John Feiner, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said. In the afternoon, he met virtually with Vice President Kamala Harris and his national security team for an update. Now, I guarantee you that meeting that had Kamala Harris in it, just nothing came out of that. I bet you nothing came out of that meeting with Kamala Harris. What do you guys think? You guys think that was a productive meeting or no? And real quick, shout out to everybody, man. We got 31 people watching. I appreciate y'all. And we got 25 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 50, that'd be great. The president, in the written statement, called it a despicable and wholly unjust attack and said the service members were risking their own safety for the safety of their fellow Americans and our allies and partners with whom we stand in the fight against terrorism. It is a fight that we cannot cease. So now let me ask you guys this. What does another 4 years of Joe Biden look like? What does another 4 years of Joe Biden look like? More of this? More border issues? What do you guys think? How many people are looking forward to another 4 years of Joe Biden? And in addition to Joe Biden, right, he's not the only problem. Because if Nikki Haley gets elected, now mind you, Joe Biden and Nikki Haley are in two different parties, but they both will do the same thing in office. Would you guys agree? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Hurricane IQ with the $2.99 super sticker. Please make sure you guys show him some love. Throw some radiation emojis, some flames in the chat. Shout out to DBB and shout out to Dora. What's good with y'all? Shout out to JW. What's going on with it, bro? Syria is still in the midst of a civil war and has long been a launch pad for Iranian-backed force there, including the Lebanese militia Hezbollah. Iraq has multiple Iranian-based Shiite militias operating there as well. Jordan, a staunch Western ally and a crucial power in Jerusalem for its oversight of holy sites, is suspected of launching airstrikes in Syria to disrupt drug smugglers, including one that deleted 9 people earlier this month. An umbrella group for Iran-backed factions known as the Islamic Resistance in Iraq earlier claimed launching explosive drone attacks targeting 3 areas in Syria, as well as one inside of quote-unquote occupied Palestine. The group has claimed responsibility for dozens of attacks against bases housing U.S. troops in Iraq and Syria since the Israel-Hamas war began. 3 officials with Iran-backed militias in Iraq who spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the matter with journalists said the drone attack against the base in Jordan was launched by one of the Iraqi groups. No faction has yet officially claimed responsibility. Officials said the U.S. military is not tracking any other attacks on its forces Sunday in the region. All right. So now it seems to me like they have a special interest in wanting to start a fight with Iran. Or either, I shouldn't say starting a fight, but engaging with Iran. And I think that it might have something to do with Iran's nuclear capabilities. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So we're going to take a look and see what Joe Biden is talking about. There's an article that came out from the Telegraph. All right. And in this article from the Telegraph, it says Joe Biden is blaming Iran for deaths of U.S. troops in drone airstrikes. All right. U.S. president vows to respond to the attack with military force while Tehran denies links. So now, as we already know, right, like I said, we're going back a little bit because I didn't get a chance to cover this. They've already struck since then, right? So we're going to take a listen to this video that they got over here. All right, let's see what they're talking about.
We shall respond. I want to point out that we had a tough day last night in the Middle East. We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases. Yeah. And I asked for complete silence for all 3 of those falls. Jeez. And we shall respond. God bless you all. Thank you for allowing me to be here. And I wish you nothing go. Thank you all so very much.
Gotta ask the question, what were they cheering for? What were they cheering for, guys? Shout out to JW. Shout out to Patricia Slade. What's good with it, Patricia? JW said, damn, this man looks like a zombie. Yeah. Yeah. I'd agree. If you guys agree with JW, Biden is out there looking like a zombie, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. He most definitely looks like a zombie. Definitely looks like a zombie. He probably gets his makeup done by the same person that done Al Sharpton's. That would be my guess. He looks like the real actual Leatherface. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden has blamed Iran for the deaths of 3 U.S. service personnel in a significant escalation of the conflict in the Middle East. The U.S. president said the drone attack responsible for the first combat deaths of U.S. troops in more than 3 years was carried out by radical Iran-backed militant groups and vowed to retaliate. A further 25 U.S. service personnel were injured after a suicide drone designed to fly to a target and then explode detonated at a military base in northern Jordan near the Syrian border on Saturday night. The Iran-backed Islamic resistance in Iraq claimed credit for the attack. In a statement on Monday, Iran's mission to the United Nations said that Tehran was not involved in the attack that deleted the U.S. service members. The mission said Iran had no connection and had nothing to do with the attack on the U.S. base. It added there is a conflict between U.S. forces and resistance groups in the region, which reciprocate retaliatory attacks. Mr. Biden earlier vowed to respond to the attack with military force, and Pentagon sources did not rule out retaliatory strikes against Iran. So now let me ask you guys a question. How many people have been following this? Who knows what's happened since then? Does anybody know what's happened since then? If you guys are aware of anything that happened since then, put it in the comment section. Which would bring the U.S. into direct conflict with the country's military for the first time since Israel invaded Gaza. Okay. Biden said the 3 American service members we lost were patriots in the highest sense, and their ultimate sacrifice will never be forgotten by our nation. Yeah. Whatever you say, Biden. Together, we will keep the sacred obligation we bear to their families. We will strive to be worthy of their honor and valor. Man, they'll tell you anything. We will carry on their commitment to fight terrorism and have no doubt we will hold all those responsible to account at a time and in a manner of our choosing. So now here's my question. What are they going to do to hold the Americans that are responsible for those soldiers' deaths accountable? Since we're going to hold all those responsible, my question for you guys is, what are they going to do to hold the Americans that are responsible for their death accountable? Because would you guys agree there are indeed Americans who are responsible, who take part in some of those that take some responsibility in those deaths? Shout out to David Brown. What's good with it, bro? So now here it says on Sunday night, Lord Cameron, the UK's foreign secretary, said we strongly condemn attacks by Iran-aligned militia groups against U.S. forces. We continue to urge Iran to de-escalate in the region. Our thoughts are with those U.S. personnel who have lost their lives and all those who have sustained injuries, as well as their families. Okay. A U.S. official said the drone strike on Sunday was the most deadly attack since October 17th, when attacks on U.S. personnel in the region began, and clearly an escalation of significance, adding that the Pentagon had launched an immediate investigation into how U.S. air defenses did not repeal the strike. The attack is the latest in a series of escalations across the region, carried out by a variety of arms-length groups backed by Iran, which opposes U.S. support for Israel in the Gaza war and U.S. military presence in the Middle East. All right. On Sunday, the British Ministry of Defense said HMS Diamond, a Royal Navy Type 45 destroyer in the region, used its Sea Viper missile system to shoot down a drone attack by Iran-backed Houthi rebels. It is the 3rd time the warship has responded to Houthi aggression. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How soon do you think this will take, or how long do you think this will take to escalate into a full-fledged war? And if you guys agree with Dora, I agree 100%, Dora. Dora says the only time black deaths are even acknowledged in this country is when it can be exploited. Facts. If you guys agree with Dora, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with Dora, give me a thumbs down. That's big facts. Big facts. Shout out to Miss Nisi. Miss Nisi said about 3 to 6 months. Yeah, I'd agree, especially if they keep going back and forth. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The U.S. and UK have conducted airstrikes against the Houthis in the Yemen. I'm sorry, against the Houthis in Yemen, who have launched hundreds of drones and missile attacks on commercial naval ships in the Red Sea. U.S. troops in the Middle East have been targeted more than 150 times by Iran-linked groups using drones packed with explosives since attacks began 10 days after Hamas' first assault on Israel. The U.S. has launched counterstrikes against the proxy groups in Iraq and Syria after the attacks wounded troops and deleted a military contractor who suffered a cardiac episode while sheltering from a drone attack in western Iraq in October. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, a branch of the Iranian armed forces, on Sunday ordered the evacuation of Iranian militias in the al-Bukamal region of eastern Syria in anticipation of retaliatory airstrikes by Washington. The attack in Jordan is believed to be the first time U.S. personnel have been deleted in combat since 13 died in a suicide bomb attack at Kabul airport in August of 2021. All right. The troops deleted were not immediately identified by U.S. CENTCOM, the U.S. military command in the Middle East, to allow time for their families to be informed. U.S. congressmen have called on Mr. Biden to take direct action against Iran. Now, let's just throw this scenario out here for you guys. Let's just say we get more deeply involved in this right around the time of the election. My question for you guys is, would a different president matter? Let's just say, for instance, Trump won. Would that change the course of how things are going, or would things stay the same regardless? Let me know what you guys think. And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 45 people watching and we got 32 likes. If everybody could take a moment, smash that like button and get us to 70 likes. Also, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment, hit that bell icon, subscribe to the channel, and please share the stream wherever you're watching from to your social media. I don't know if Trump would necessarily make a difference or not. I think that if a war was going on, if there was an ongoing war, that we would still be in a war, and I think that Trump would actually continue it. I think that he would keep it going. What do you guys think? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And we got the fake Ricky Manor account. So you guys just let me know. You know what I'm saying? If y'all start getting annoyed, don't block him. Put the lock in the chat, and that's what we'll lock it. You know what I'm saying? And then he had to pay to play. Put the pay to play emoji in there. You know what I'm saying? He'll pay to play. You know what I'm saying? So now Lindsey Graham, everybody knows about Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham, a Republican senator, urged the administration to hit Iran now and hard, adding, "The only thing the Iranian regime understands is force. Until they pay a price with their infrastructure and their personnel, the attacks on U.S. troops will continue." Now, here goes the thing. It'll be a different story if he actually meant that, but we know that Lindsey Graham is saying that to try to get paid. And now let me ask you guys this. How is it that Joe Biden, Nikki Haley, Lindsey Graham, and Mitch McConnell will be on the same page with this stuff here, and Nikki Haley, Lindsey Graham, and Mitch McConnell are in a different political party than Joe Biden? But when it comes to this, they're all on the same page. Let me know what y'all think about that. Don't y'all find that interesting? And what's even more interesting about it is that they never talk about that on the news, about that odd alliance when it comes to certain things. Because that is definitely an odd alliance. Would you guys agree? That's a very, very odd alliance, and never say too much about it. Hurricane says war is a big business in America. No matter which president is there, something will happen. Facts. It's an economic stimulant. Super facts. If you guys agree with Hurricane, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says Dan Sullivan, another senator, said the attack shows the dangers of the Biden administration's appeasement of Iran in the past 3 years and called for a clear, lethal, and overwhelming response. Wesley Clark, a former U.S. general and NATO commander, said the U.S. should stop saying we don't want to escalate. This invites them to attack us. Stop calling our strikes retaliation. This is reactive. Take out their capabilities and strike hard at the source, which is Iran. While the U.S. insisted the drone attack occurred on Jordanian soil, the Jordanian government claimed the blast occurred over the Syrian border. Tower 22, a small outpost in the north of Jordan, is close to the U.S. Al-Tanf military base in southeastern Syria. The Islamic resistance in Iran said that it also hit the nearby U.S. bases of Shadidi and Rukban in Syria. The group is an umbrella organization of pro-Iran militias that sprang up after Israel's war on Gaza started in October. It is believed to have been created by Iran's Quds force as a united front against U.S. troops in Iraq. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Let's just say, for instance, that Hamas attack in Israel didn't happen. Do you all think we would still be right here today if that didn't happen? If you guys think that we would, give me a thumbs up. If you guys think that we wouldn't, give me a thumbs down. The group includes Harakat Hezbollah al-Nujaba, one of the most powerful pro-Iran militias in Iraq, which is believed to be responsible for many of the recent attacks against U.S. forces. A senior official with the Iran-backed Palestinian militant group Hamas, Sami Abu Zuhri, directly tied Sunday's attack to Israel's campaign in Gaza. All right, so now what you basically have, it seems like, is all of these little groups attacking the U.S. and attacking Israel because of the United States' involvement in what's going on between Hamas and Israel. Let me ask you guys this question. What is our investment in what's going on over there between Hamas and Israel? Why are we there? What does that have to do with us? Is there a good reason for us to be there? The killing of 3 American soldiers is a message to the U.S. administration that unless the killing of innocent Gazan stops, it must confront the entire nation, he told Reuters. Okay. So, I mean, what this is basically, for the most part, with interests, right? This is just the Middle East getting on code, you know what I'm saying, against the people who are not Middle Eastern, who are posted up in the Middle East. Would you guys agree? And I gotta agree. Shout out to my man Kid Gravity. Kid Gravity said, yes, the economy needs to be artificially inflated for Biden to lie. Facts. Those Bidenomics. Big facts. If you guys agree with KG, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. The continued American Z word, I'm not going to say it because y'all already know, aggression on Gaza is capable of exploding the situation in the region. Typically, around 3,000 U.S. troops are based in Jordan, which is a base point for troops and special forces operating in Iraq and Syria. Meanwhile, UK Defense Secretary Grant Shapps said the UK was undaunted by the Houthi drone attack against the HMS Diamond, which is stationed in the Red Sea. The warship, which is protecting merchant shipping in the region, has now been targeted 3 times by terrorist groups in recent months. All right, so we're going to check this video out real quick. Hey, Carlton, tell them stop recording this stuff on your phone. See, anytime Carlton gets some footage on his phone, it always look like It always looked like this. Now, mind you, this is the most advanced military in the world, right? But they got the footage that looked like they borrowed Carlton's phone to record it. This is the same cameras that they record the aliens and Bigfoot with, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So they successfully got rid of the drone. All right, so there's that. All right. There were no injuries to the crew, and the destroyer was undamaged after Saturday's unsuccessful assault by the Iran-backed rebels. Mr. Shapps said the UK will not hesitate to respond. We will not hesitate to take action if we need to defend ourselves and innocent merchant sailors. This was another direct attack on our Royal Navy and on the freedom of navigation that we hold dear as an island nation. Mr. Shapps also dismissed criticism of the warship after it emerged that it is not equipped with missiles that can target Houthi land bases. So why would they have that ship out there in the water and it can't target the Houthi land bases? Make it make sense. Don't you guys think that that's a waste of a piece of equipment, or either at the least, if it's not a waste, it's suboptimal military strategy? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. He added, HMS Diamond's value in the coalition operation to protect vessels in the Red Sea is unquestionable. She is crucial in the fight to protect innocent lives and keep maritime waters open. Okay. The MOD said that the HMS Diamond had shot down and destroyed the Yemen group drone using its Sea Viper missile defense system. Yesterday, the crew of HMS Diamond had to once again shoot down a Houthi attack drone illegally targeting the ship, the ministry said in a statement. These intolerable and illegal attacks are completely unacceptable, and it is our duty to protect the freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. The assault was the third incident of its kind since mid-December, with the vessel targeted before on December 16th and January 10th. The Iran-aligned Houthis have launched waves of drone and missiles at vessels since mid-November in response to Israel's war in Gaza. And if you guys aren't familiar with any of those, make sure that you guys check BLR1, because I covered all of those on BLR1 if you want to do, some back research. The Iran-aligned Houthis have launched waves of drones and missiles at vessels since mid-November in response to Israel's war in Gaza. They have frequently targeted ships with tenuous or no clear links to Israel, endangering shipping on a key global route. That's not necessarily true that they have no clear links to Israel. Let me ask you guys a question. Who owned those commercial ships? Who were the owners of those ships? I'm sure Kid Gravity knows. Anybody know who the owners of those commercial ships were that have gotten hit in the Red Sea? Some of the articles actually say who owns it. So now if the articles say who owns it, then how can you say that they don't have any clear link to Israel? Make it make sense. Who owns this media that printed this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about here? And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 55 people watching and we got 38 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 80, that'd be great. Oh, and also I forgot to tell everybody, I always want to tell you guys when this happens. The live stream with Eric Adams and Kathy Hochul on it that said more geefs. For whatever reason, YouTube decided to yellow dollar sign that, permanently yellow dollar sign it, not even having it under review. So it's on members only for anybody that wants to watch the replay of that. It's on members only. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Shout out to my man Hurricane IQ. Throw them like enforcers in the chat. Yeah, enforce them likes. Shout out to my man Hurricane IQ taking care of it, taking care of business down there. You know what I'm saying? My man Hurricane IQ chatting on business. You know what I'm saying? Chatting on business. You know what I'm saying? As tensions escalated, the Marlin Luna, a British-linked oil tanker, was struck with an anti-ship missile fired by the rebel group on Friday. By Saturday afternoon, an onboard blaze had been extinguished with all of the ship's crew declared safe after French, Indian, and U.S. vessels provided assistance. So there you guys can see the ship burning up from that missile strike from the Houthis. That's got to be wild, man. You got to be kind of scared if you out there in the middle of the ocean and something like that happened to you. You know what I'm saying? That don't look like it's fun at all. That don't look like it's fun at all. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. I would probably freak all the way out if I'm in the middle of the ocean, can't get to nothing else around, and the ship that I'm on or the airplane that I'm on or whatever is going on just starts malfunctioning and blowing up. Ooh, man, you are not going to see the best of me. You know what I'm saying? The tanker sails under the flag of the Marshall Islands, but is managed by Oceanics Services Ltd., a company registered in the UK. How many people know about Marshall Islands? I would actually not mind disappearing there. You know what I'm saying? Like just that. Now that's a place right there that you could just vanish into. Like anybody that wants to just vanish into thin air, that's one of those thin air places that you could vanish into. I would not mind vanishing into the thin air in Marshall Islands. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sybil. What's good with it, Sybil? Oh man, Deneen in the comment section acting like a college dropout. Everybody throw some flames in the chat for Deneen. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Deneen. Deneen said YouTube hates black people in my Kanye voice. Oh man, that's facts. You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied, man. YouTube just like George Bush out here. Oh man, YouTube hates black people, man. Why they do us like this, man? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with them? Oh man. The Houthis said they targeted the vessel in response to American-British aggression against our country. U.S. and British warplanes, ships, and submarines have responded with dozens of retaliatory strikes on sites operated by the rebel groups across Yemen. However, a second series of joint UK and US airstrikes carried out at the start of the week appear to have done little to thwart assaults. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Do y'all think that these assaults are going to continue to come? If you guys think that these assaults are going to continue to come, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you guys don't, give me a thumbs down. I think these assaults ain't going nowhere. I think that they're going to continue. I think that they're going to continue, and they probably won't stop until whatever is going on in Israel and whatever's going on in the Gaza Strip either comes to a head or comes to an end. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think is happening. That's what I think is going to go down. So we got this article from The Hill, and it says, what to know about wave of deadly U.S. strikes in the Middle East. All right. I think we know a decent deal, but we're going to see if they got anything else in here for us. All right. In the past 24 hours, now let's talk about this time frame here. It's now the 5th, right? It's February 5th, 2024. This article here was posted February 3rd of 2024. All right. So they're talking about 24 hours from the 3rd. All right. In the past 24 hours, the U.S. military has hit more than 100 targets across Iraq, Syria, and Yemen, striking Iran-backed proxies that have ramped up their own attacks on U.S. troops in the region since October. So over the last 24 hours, how many people knew that it was going down like that? That's why I said in the title, the Middle East is lit. How many of y'all knew it was lit like that? Like Dave East and Styles P, everything lit. You know what I'm saying? Everything lit. Washington began late Friday with major airstrikes on more than 85 targets across 7 locations in Iraq and Syria, a response to a drone strike in Jordan that deleted 3 American soldiers on Sunday. Then on Saturday, the U.S. military struck 36 targets at 13 locations in areas of Yemen controlled by Houthi rebels, a separate move in connection to the militant group's ongoing attacks on commercial and U.S. naval vessels in the Red Sea. So let's just backtrack here. The U.S. military struck 36 targets at 13 locations. Again, that's a lot. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How do you think that the United States media is doing as far as covering that? You think that they're doing a good job keeping people aware, or they're not really saying too much? Yeah, I gotta agree. Facts. I agree 100% with Deneen. Deneen says this is too much. I agree. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. This is too much. Nobody want to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? And nobody wants to deal with this during a border crisis when you have unknown entities just coming and going as they please into the country. Right? Yeah. Facts, Black Lightning. Black Lightning says they're doing a good job by not informing the public. Facts. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the intense targeting of the Iran-backed groups has been met with criticism in the U.S., with some lawmakers arguing the Biden administration response is too little too late, and others saying it's not enough. The move has also roiled an already volatile situation in the Middle East, where the Iranian proxy groups claim they are targeting U.S. forces in response to the Israeli war against Palestinian militant group Hamas in Gaza, which began in October. All right. So here's what we know about the strikes. Okay. These are the targets. U.S. Central Command, the arm of the U.S. military that oversees forces in the Middle East, began airstrikes Friday evening in Iraq and Syria against Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Quds Force, and affiliated militia groups. U.S. forces struck more than 85 targets at 7 locations, 4 in Syria and 3 in Iraq, using various warplanes, including B-1 long-range bombers flown from the United States, dropping more than 125 precision munitions, according to CENTCOM. Now, I think that is interesting how they decide to hit these strikes based on these quote-unquote militias. Shout out to Carlton Way. Let me ask you guys a question. Let's just say, for instance, a group of Proud Boys decided to go to Russia, and while they were in Russia, they beat up a couple Russian people. And Putin said, well, this is a U.S. militia, and as a result of what they did here in Russia, you know, we're going to send a missile somewhere in the United States. How would you guys feel about that? How would you guys feel about that? And I got to agree with Deneen. It's just a matter of time before terrorist attacks happen in the U.S. Yeah, that's facts. That's big facts. To me, what it seems like is that's kind of what's going on here. Who knows what the actual link to these militia groups and how much backing they actually get from Iran or any of these countries is, but the information is being presented by the United States military, which in turn is being presented to people watching the state-sanctioned media here in the United States. Because how the United States tries to say that all these other countries have state-sanctioned media, our media is state-sanctioned too. Let's not act like, you know what I'm saying, it's not. That they know that there's a direct link to these governments and these militia groups. To me, it seems like a lot of speculation. But at the same time, in all fairness, I don't have eyes and ears on the ground like what the military is supposed to have and be using. So if the military is doing these things, we're assuming and hoping that they are and being honest about it. But like we've seen in the past, things like 9/11, things like the Operation Desert Storm and all of that, sometimes the integrity is not there. A lot of times the integrity is not there. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here says the strikes also reportedly targeted the headquarters of the Popular Mobilization Forces, a coalition of Iraqi militia groups that includes Iranian-backed militants that provide official security in Baghdad, according to Iranian Telegram channels. Areas struck included command and control centers, intelligence facilities, and weapons storage facilities used by the Iran-backed militias to attack U.S. and coalition forces, the Pentagon later said in a statement. The Biden administration has said the strikes are the first in a series of actions by Washington to respond to the attack in Jordan, which it has blamed on the Islamic resistance in Iraq, an umbrella group of militias backed by Tehran. All right. So again, does anybody have any concrete proof that these militias are backed by Tehran? And shout out to you, Miss Nisi. Make sure y'all show Miss Nisi some love. We all appreciate your service. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And we actually do. It's not like Biden sitting up there about to fall asleep in front of that microphone at the church. We actually do appreciate it. Shout out to David. David said this country never had any integrity. I'm surprised no one has thought that and done something about it yet. I think that it's been a long time coming, but I think that that's what China and Russia and a bunch of other countries that are involved with BRICS are working towards. Now, yeah, I did not mean to hit that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, them ducats on Streamelements are great. You know what I'm saying? But what I was going to say was that the United States calls that, quote unquote, the New World Order. And they call that the New World Order in order to scare people here. But it's if it is a New World Order, you got to ask the question, the current world order is a New World Order for some people. Right? So if they're talking about Russia, China hegemony as a New World Order, what is the quote unquote old or current world order? What is that? I'll let you guys answer that question in the comment section. These actions are intended to wipe out capabilities used to target American troops, as well as send a message to ward off further attacks, officials say. The goal here is to get these attacks to stop. We're not looking for a war with Iran, White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby told reporters Friday. Separately, on Saturday, the U.S. and United Kingdom hit 36 Houthi targets at 13 locations in Yemen using ships and aircrafts, focusing on facilities and equipment used to attack international merchant vessels and U.S. Navy ships in the Red Sea, Bab al-Mandeb Strait, and the Gulf of Aden, according to the Pentagon. This is the third set of strikes carried out by the U.S. in Yemen as part of a coalition that also includes the United Kingdom, Australia, Bahrain, Canada, Denmark, the Netherlands, and New Zealand. Would you guys notice anything about those countries? Anything stand out about all those countries listed? You know what I'm saying? The targets included multiple underground storage facilities, command and control, missile systems, UAV storage, and operation sites, radars, and helicopters, the Defense Department said. The U.S. military also continues to hit Houthi cruise missiles in Yemen posed to be launched into the Red Sea, knocking out 6 on Saturday alone. Washington officials say these strikes are defensive in nature. All right, so here goes the timeline. The strikes have come less than a week after 3 Army reservists were deleted and some 40 were injured when a suicide drone hit Tower 22, a U.S. base in Jordan near the Syria border on January 28th. The next day, President Joe Biden met with members of his national security team, including National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. Shortly thereafter, on January 30th, Biden announced that he had decided how he planned to respond to the attack. More strikes are expected in the coming days, with Austin on Friday stating, "This is the quote-unquote start of our response." So now, let me ask you guys this. Yeah, facts. Shout out to Leon. That's exactly it. If you guys agree with what Leon said, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And shout out to Black Spider. What's good with it? How long do you guys think that this response will last? I think that this response will last for a long time. But one thing that the United States doesn't seem to understand is that I think that a lot of smaller countries have seen that the United States is not really good at maintaining long-term wars. And eventually there could possibly be a Afghanistan type situation if they hold out long enough. So I don't think that any of these smaller countries are really going to be standing down to the United States anytime soon. I think that everybody's going to continue to just keep coming at the United States. And they also, a lot of these countries, they got the backing of China and Russia. So it's not really, a lot of maneuvering that the United States can do as far as the stuff that they're used to doing, just going around doing whatever they want to. And I got to agree with Black Lightning. America doesn't take care of their own veterans. Facts. Look at how they living over here. They take care of migrants better than they take care of veterans. If you guys agree that they take care of migrants here in the United States better than they take care of veterans, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Everybody that I know that deals with the veteran hospital always has issues with the veteran hospital. And the veteran hospital is supposed to be something set up specifically for people that served in the military. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, since October 7th, U.S. troops have been attacked over 160 times in Iraq, Syria, and Jordan with a mix of rockets and one-way attack drones. Since October 7th, U.S. troops have been attacked over 160 times. How many people knew that? A 160 times. You think that they'd be talking about it more on TV? You think that they'd be talking about it more on the internet? You think it'd be more posts on social media about it? Not so much. Not so much. You know what I'm saying? While the U.S. has not come out with a tally of casualties in the wake of strikes in Iraq and Syria, Baghdad's government has accused Washington of deleting 16 people, including civilians, and wounding 25. In Syria, meanwhile, the strikes reportedly deleted 23 people who had been guarding the targeted locations, according to Rami Abdul Rahman, director of the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, as reported by Reuters. There is also no official U.S. tally of any casualties from the strikes in Yemen. Joint Staff Director Lieutenant General Douglas Sims, who spoke to reporters Friday, said the airstrikes were carried out with the knowledge that those in the facilities would likely be deleted. So now here goes a response. And of course, because it's coming from Joe Biden, it's just like how Joe Biden does everything. The response is delayed. The response is just like who it's coming from, delayed. You know what I'm saying? Biden's decision to authorize the strikes has been met with sharp criticisms on the right, with several GOP lawmakers insisting the commander-in-chief was too slow in his response or had not gone far enough. The tragic death of 3 U.S. troops in Jordan, perpetuated by Iran-backed militias, demanded a clear and forceful response. Unfortunately, the administration waited for a week and telegraphed to the world, including to Iran, the nature of our response, House Speaker Mike Johnson said in a statement. And Senate Armed Service Committee ranking member Roger Wicker said the airstrikes are welcome, but too late for those who died. Other Republicans, including former National Security Advisor John Bolton, called for Biden to authorize strikes in Iran directly so that it can, quote unquote, send a message. That route is unlikely, considering that any move hitting Iranian soil could provoke an all-out war between Washington and Tehran, something Biden has repeatedly said that he does not want. The strikes in Iraq are also expected to further intensify ongoing discussions between Baghdad and Washington over the future of American military presence in the country, where some 2,500 troops are based to train and assist Iraq in the fight against Islamic State extremist groups. Let me ask you guys this question. Again, I got to keep asking these questions. Why are we there? Somebody make it make sense. How many of you all would be happy if we were not involved in any of this? If you guys would be happy that the United States was not involved in any of this, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you all feel that there's a justifiable reason for us to be there and that we should continue on, then give me a thumbs down. U.S. officials said that they informed the Iraqi government prior to carrying out the strikes, but Bassem al-Awandi claims that Washington deliberately deceived and falsified facts by announcing prior coordination to commit this aggression, which is a false claim aimed at misleading international public opinion and disavowing legal responsibility for this rejected crime in accordance with all international laws. In Iran, meanwhile, groups quickly condemned the United States for the attack, with Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi warning in a Friday address that Tehran would respond. So it seems like, despite the fact that Joe Biden claims to have not wanted to involve Iran in a direct war with Tehran, it seems like that's what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? That's what it seemed like. Shout out to Mama Zeke. Yeah. I gotta agree with Kid Gravity. Kid Gravity said he knows those desert dudes are like Diddy. Can't stop, won't stop. He can't afford a domestic terrorist attack this year. Yeah, facts. If you guys agree with KG, give me a thumbs up. Y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. I agree. We have often clarified that Iran will not initiate a war, but will answer bullies firmly and authoritatively, Raisi said, according to state-run news outlet Islamic Republic News Agency. And Iran's foreign minister, Hassan Amir Abdullahian, on Saturday said the move worsens the chance of reaching a political solution in the Middle East. The U.S. decision has complicated the situation and made it more difficult to reach a political solution, Amir Abdullahian told the United Nations Special Envoy for Yemen while meeting in Tehran, according to IRNA. He added that U.S. strikes were a continuation of Washington's wrong and failed approach to resolve issues by force and through militarism. The United Nations Security Council is also expected to meet on Monday to discuss U.S. strikes in Iraq and Syria, CNN reported. All right, so there's that. So according to The Hill, that's what we need to know about the deadly wave of U.S. strikes in the Middle East, which is interesting because I don't think this article really told us very much at all about the deadly U.S. military strikes in the Middle East. Now, not to change the topic or anything, but we got some interesting stuff that we're going to be talking about as far as immigration. There's been some... Believe it or not, there's been some new developments. There's always some new developments when it comes to this stuff. There's always some new developments. But I'm gonna ask you guys a question, and we're not gonna go over it in this stream. So we're not going there. We're gonna go over that next time we talk about immigration. But who is the new largest group of border crossers? Do any of y'all know? If you guys know who the new largest group of border crossers is, put it in the chat. All right. Now we're going to take a listen to this. U.S. and UK airstrikes hit Iran-backed targets in the Middle East. This is CBS Mornings. All right, let's get it.
Eastern Syria overnight, a drone attack on a base used by U.S. troops killed 6 people. Now, no American casualties were reported. It is the first significant response to U.S. airstrikes that hit militia bases in Syria and Iraq Friday. Over the weekend, the U.S. said it is also attacking Houthi rebels responsible for attacks in the Red Sea. Holly Williams has more from northern Iraq.
The US and the UK launched strikes on 36 targets in Yemen late on Saturday.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody that's watching. First of all, before we go there, everybody throw some flames in the chat for Shamika. She got it. Chinese. That's correct. Shout out to her. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat. The chopstick crew. Facts. You know what I'm saying? The chopstick crew got it going on down there. And we got 62 people watching. Shout out, and I appreciate all you guys who are watching. And we got 53 likes. If everybody can take a moment, smash that like button and get us to 100, that would be great.
Including Houthi missile systems and radars. The Houthis' slogan includes calls for death to America and death to Israel. The group vowed the strikes would not go unpunished, and just hours later, US forces say they hit several Houthi cruise missiles preparing to launch against ships in the Red Sea. The Houthis receive equipment and money from Iran, according to the US. It came just a day after the US says it hit 85 targets here in Iraq and over the border in Syria. The US strikes were retaliation for the killing of 3 American soldiers just over a week ago in Jordan. The US says there have been around 170 attacks on its military in this region by Iran-backed groups since October. But when we interviewed Iran's foreign minister in November, he denied that his country was behind the uptick in violence.
It sounds like you're saying that Iran backs these groups around the Middle East, but you bear no responsibility for what they do.
These groups in Iraq and Syria that are attacking US interests have made their own decisions, he told us. Ever since the Israel-Hamas conflict started, there have been fears it could expand, likely involving Iran's proxies.
The US doesn't want the Israel-Hamas war to widen, but nor does it want attacks by Iran-backed groups to go unanswered. And that is a very difficult balance. Jarika?
So, if you ask me, it's a lot of double talk, because if the United States would not be there, I guarantee you that the United States, probably a 99% chance, wouldn't be getting attacked. Would you guys agree? Like, that's pretty simple. This stuff isn't rocket science. It's actually it's a bunch of people firing rockets, but it's not rocket science. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of, you know. Shout out to Ty Valentine. What's good with it, bro? So we will be seeing more strikes, right? And if you ask me, this will indeed turn into an escalation. This is where this is going. Okay. U.S. intends further strikes against Iran-backed group, White House says. Now, this was from yesterday. So this isn't like an old article from last week or something that we catching up on. Nah, this is from very recently. This is from yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a chance to talk about this yesterday, but
the U.S. and Britain unleashed attacks on 36 targets in Yemen, as the White House National Security Advisor said on Sunday that further strikes at Iran-backed groups in the Middle East were coming. The two countries released video and still photos of their operations Saturday. The strikes come a day after the U.S. military hit Tehran-backed groups in Iraq and Syria in retaliation for a deadly attack on U.S. troops in Jordan. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told NBC Sunday that the U.S. intends to take, quote, additional action to continue. Can
we just pause? That's a great still picture. What do you guys think? He should use that for his driver's license. If you guys think that this is a great still picture that this guy should use for his driver's license, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, give me a thumbs down. He looks like the Scream mask. That dude looks like the Scream mask. Tell me you don't.
To send a clear message that the United States will respond when our forces are attacked. Saturday's strikes in Yemen hit buried weapons storage facilities, missile systems, launchers, and other capabilities the Houthis have used to attack Red Sea shipping, the Pentagon said, adding it targeted 13 locations. The Houthis did not announce any casualties. The attacks are the latest blows in a conflict that has spread in the Middle East since October 7th, when the Iran-backed Palestinian militant group Hamas stormed Israel from the Gaza Strip, igniting war. Tehran-backed groups declaring support for the Palestinians have entered the fray across the region, including the Yemen-based Houthis, who, in addition to firing on shipping in the Red Sea, have fired at Israel itself. Houthi supporters in Yemen's capital on Sunday organized a military parade to show solidarity with Gaza and in protest of the U.S. and British airstrikes. Iran has so far avoided any direct role in the conflict.
Man, that's crazy, man. Let me shut up, because I'm trying not to. I'm not about to roast their military, man. I'm not about to roast their military.
Even as it backs groups like the Houthis. The Pentagon has said it does not want war with Iran and does not believe Tehran wants war either. A Houthi spokesperson said that further U.S. and British aggression will not affect Yemen's decision to show its support for Gaza.
Yo, man, that military is wild. Like, look at the little kid. They got like a 10-year-old out there. Yeah, that's big facts. Shout out to Leon 215. Leon 215 says the United States is over there illegally. Facts. Big facts. You see that little boy though? They got the little kid holding the flag marching. Like, man, that's man, listen, man. Yeah, no, real talk, bro. Real talk. Shout out to PD that remains. What's good with it, bro? Yeah, people don't be calling that out, man, but I'm telling you, they all look dead. They all look like what happens to your skin when you stay in the bathtub for too long. You notice that? All these stay in the bathroom or stay in the bathtub looking politicians. You know how when you stay in the bathtub, your skin just, you know what I'm saying, it gets all weird, and you know what I'm saying? That's how these politicians all look. Except for they're dry and they haven't been in a bathtub. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, that's the end of the video. Let's see. All right. So let me see what they're talking about. United States intends to launch further strikes at Iran-backed groups in the Middle East, the White House National Security Advisor said on Sunday after hitting Tehran-aligned factions in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen over the last 2 days. United States and Britain unleashed attacks against 36 Houthi targets in Yemen a day after the U.S. military hit Tehran-backed groups in Iraq and Syria in retaliation for a deadly attack on U.S. troops in Jordan. So there's going to be more stuff going on than what they've already done for the most part. Shout out to Black Lightning. Black Lightning says there's a TikTok video of an American trooper scaring and chasing children in the Middle East as a mockery. That's pretty crappy if they are actually out there doing that. I'm not surprised, though, because that's how them people get down. They train the military to be like that, too. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, we intend to take additional strikes and additional action to continue to send a clear message that the United States will respond when our forces are attacked, when our people are deleted. White House National Advisor Jake Sullivan told NBC's Meet the Press program on Sunday. The strikes are the latest blows in a conflict that has spread into the Middle East since October 7th, when the Iran-backed Palestinian militant group Hamas stormed Israel from the Gaza Strip, igniting war. The Biden administration's diplomatic efforts to stem the fallout from the war also continued, with top diplomat Anthony Blinken departing for the region on Sunday afternoon. Tehran-backed groups declaring support for the Palestinians have entered the fray across the region. Hezbollah has fired at Israeli targets at the Lebanese-Israeli border. Iraq militias have fired on U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria, and the Houthis have fired on shipping in the Red Sea and at Israel itself. All right. Iran has so far avoided any direct role in the conflict, even as it backs these groups. The Pentagon has said it does not want war with Iraq or with Iran and does not believe that Tehran wants war either. Sullivan declined to be drawn on whether the United States might attack sites inside Iran, something the U.S. military has been very careful to avoid. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Why is it that you think that the United States military has been very careful to avoid that, or they've been saying that they're being careful to avoid it? Why do you guys think that the United States military is trying to avoid that? You guys think that they're worried about anything? What do you think that they might be worried about? Speaking to CBS Face the Nation program moments earlier, he said Friday strikes were the Friday strikes were the beginning. Okay, so you guys see that? Friday's strikes were the beginning, not the end of our response, and there will be more steps. Some seen, some perhaps unseen. Now, what do you think they mean by that? So what we're hearing about right now, we will be following this up. There will be more. Shout out to Rodney Arrington. Rodney Arrington says, watch for around April 15th. If it's going to jump off, that'll be the time. Now, let me ask you this, Rodney. Why do you think that? Where you get that date from? I would not describe it as some open-ended military campaign, he said. Saturday strikes in Yemen hit buried weapons storage facilities, missile systems, launchers, and other capabilities that the Houthis have used to attack Red Sea shipping, the Pentagon said, adding that it targeted 13 locations. Now remember, see, number 13, just always pay attention. Houthi military spokesperson Yahya Saria said the strikes will not pass without a response and consequences. Another Houthi spokesperson, Mohammed Abdul Salam, indicated the group would not be deterred, saying Yemen's decision to support Gaza would not be affected by any attack. Residents described being shaken by powerful blasts. The building I live in shook, said Fatima, a resident of Houthi-controlled Sana'a, adding that it had been years since she had felt such blast in a country that has suffered years of war. Houthis did not announce any casualties. Secretary of State Blinken will visit Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Qatar, and Israel in the coming days on his 5th trip to the region since October, which will focus on advancing talks of the return of hostages taken from Israel by Hamas in exchange for a temporary ceasefire in Gaza. So now here goes my question. How are they going to negotiate for a temporary ceasefire in Gaza when I think Israel has made it pretty clear? Israel's made it pretty clear that they're not interested in a ceasefire. So I don't know how the United States thinks that we're going to do that. What do you guys think about that? Would you guys agree that Israel's made it pretty clear that they're not really interested in a ceasefire? If you guys agree that that's the case, then give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, then give me a thumbs down. I'm pretty sure that that's been made pretty clear. So my question is, if that's been made pretty clear and that's what time that they're on in Israel, how is the United States going to influence that? How is the United States going to influence that into a ceasefire? I don't think they have as much influence on this as they want to assume that they do. You know what I'm saying? Iran seen, oh, you know what? Okay, so here it says he will also make a push on U.S. brokered mega deal between Saudi Arabia and Israel to normalize ties, which hinge on bringing an end to other Gaza conflicts and steps towards a future Palestinian state. Iran seen avoiding direct confrontation. The Yemen strikes are running parallel to the unfolding U.S. campaign of retaliation over the deletion of 3 American soldiers in a drone strike by Iran-backed militants on an outpost in Jordan. On Friday, the U.S. carried out the first wave of that retaliation, striking in Iraq and Syria more than 85 targets linked to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and militias it backs, reportedly deleting nearly 40. Mahjoub Zariri, director of the Gulf Studies Center at Qatar University, did not expect a change in Iran's approach even after the United States airstrikes. They keep the enemy behind the borders far away. They are not interested in any direct military confrontation, which might lead to attacks on their cities or their homeland. They will maintain that status quo, he told Reuters. Iran's foreign ministry said the latest attacks on Yemen were a flagrant violation of international law by the United States and Britain, warning the continuation of such attacks was a worrying threat to international peace and security. While the Houthis say their attacks are in solidarity with the Palestinians, the U.S. and its allies characterize them as indiscriminate and a menace to global trade. Major shipping lines have largely abandoned Red Sea shipping lanes for longer routes around Africa. This has increased costs, feeding worries about global inflation while denying Egypt crucial foreign revenue from the use of the Suez Canal. Hundreds of people attended a Baghdad funeral procession for 17 members of the Popular Mobilization Forces deleted in the U.S. strikes. The PMF is a state security force containing several Iran-backed armed groups. Hadi al-Amiri, a senior Iraqi politician close to Iran, said it was time to oust U.S. forces, 2,500 of whom are in Iraq in a mission to help prevent a resurgence of the Islamic State. This is what they said about the United States. Their presence is pure evil for the Iraqi people, he said. Iraq and the United States last month initiated talks about ending the U.S.-led coalition's presence in the country. Okay? So there's that. So now let me ask you guys this question. Do you all think that the United States should end its coalition in Iraq? Shout out to Lunch. What's good with it, bro? If you guys think that they should, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that they should, give me a thumbs down. All right? So shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate you guys. You know what I'm saying? I want to shout out to stream sponsors. We got my man AB Promotion with the $1.99 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Please make sure you guys show him some love. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. Show him some love with the $2.99 super chat. Make sure y'all show him some love. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat. Make sure you guys check out those premieres and those short videos. All right. Remember, it's imperative what gets done at the end of the video. That's the most important thing. Make sure that you do either one of two things. Hit that box that appears in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, or if it says next up and it has another one of my videos, hit play next. All right. And it look like Kid Gravity got a live stream popping up. I don't have where I can pull a link in there, but it look like Kid Gravity about to go live. So make sure if y'all not subscribed to Kid Gravity, y'all go and check Kid Gravity out. All right. So as always, ladies and gentlemen,
walk up in the life. Yeah, I'm really talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up, look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on tour. Got demons. Say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. I'm the realest from my city. That's on my knee. That's on Kiwi. That's on mama's. Niggas don't believe me. Come and see me. I been dodging all that face. All these niggas working broke, but I been getting paid. All that know me from the street. Active for what feature? That's like every other week. Talk behind my back. I kick my feet up, have a seat. Cause at the end of the day, all these watching me as I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Hold up.